One thing about Prince is he knows how to do Avid and Final Cut Pro and other editing things, and he also knows how to do the soundboard, and he knows how to do audio editing, everything. He is so technologically advanced. Sorry, he knows all this stuff and software. So I knew that about him, and I'd warned my sound mixer. I said, "Hey, it's going to be a long night. I can tell you this right now." And my sound mixer was the most cantankerous person. He never liked people in his sound truck, but I had to give him a warning. I said, "You know how some people want to come in your sound truck afterwards and hear the mix, and you don't want them to? Prince is going to want to do that, but not only that, he's going to want to mix the whole show, you know." And I remember he was excited. He goes, "Okay, great, that's great." I said, "Okay, perfect." So that night after we shot the episode, we finished at 8. Me, Prince, and Peter Baird, who was the sound mixer, the three of us sat in the sound truck, in the audio truck, from around 9 p.m. The show wrapped at 8, from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning. The
Oh
three of us
my God.
sat in the sound truck and literally just
Wow.
that everything you heard about Prince and how amazing he is and how he can hear things, he was doing stuff that I was like, wait, what? And then even Peter, who was so adept at audio mixing, kept looking back, thinking like, "How did you do that? Like, wait, or how did you hear that?" Our Prince like, "Hey man, can we do this? Let's do this with this sound. Change this." And Peter was doing it, and Prince goes, "Do you mind, sir? Do you mind?" Peter would get up, and Prince would sit down and just be doing stuff. And I don't get an audio board anyways, but there's a lot of levers, right? And he's just doing stuff, and then he sits back and then hits play, and then we're like, "Oh!" And it would just sound amazing. One of the most amazing things that happened to me was there was a moment where in his song Funk and Roll, which was the second song he performed, he had a horn section of about 12 people in his band. And then he had that high school band that I referenced earlier. So there you had about 20 something horns,
Yeah.
right? And it was during the bridge of the song where it's just like horns going off, like all these horns going off. And everyone is, it's just a crescendo of horns. And we're sitting in the truck, and then he goes, "Ooh, play that back. Someone missed a note." And Peter goes, "Wait, what are you talking about?" He goes, "Let's isolate the channel."
What?
And I'm thinking, there's no way he heard a There's no
Isolate the channels.
Yeah. So he starts isolating the channel. It's like channel 1, channel 2, channel 3. We get to about channel 6, and it's like, and then you hear the guy, because his horn is mic'd, you hear him go, "Oh." And Prince goes, "Oh, he's moaning because he knows I'm going to dock his pay." Hey, because Prince was like James Brown, that if they missed a note or did something, he would dock their pay. And I'm like, how did you hear that? It was crazy. The guy could hear the craziest things. And there was even a point where I fell asleep.
Holy fuck.
In the sound truck. I fell asleep because it was getting around maybe 4 a.m. I was nodding off. And he hit my thigh and he goes, "You still with us? You still with us?" I was like, yeah, sorry. Oh my God. And then when that ended, he goes, "Well, I'll see you tomorrow for the visual edit." I was like, "The visual?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'd like to come in and sit with your team to just see the visual edit." I was like, "Oh." So he came in the next day, rolled in. Theo sat in the car outside. Prince came up the elevator by himself, which I thought was weird. Not that he can't walk by himself, but I still thought it was weird. And I told him, I was like, "I'll meet you by the elevator." And he was wearing this purple and yellow velour tracksuit. And my first thought was, oh, he has a Lakers outfit. But then I forgot. I was like, oh, no, he's wearing the Vikings because he's from Minneapolis. So, and then he walks up in this velour tracksuit. I didn't tell anybody but our post supervisor, my EP, and my director that he was going to come and oversee the visual edit, because I didn't want staff to try to bombard him. So people would walk by and be like, "Hey, what's up, Chris?"
Yeah.
And then just take a look at this little guy next to me, a kid who they thought that it was.
That was Prince.
Yeah. And you would just see the eyes light up, like, "What's up, Chris?" And Prince is just standing there, and he's just, And so he did the visual edit. He didn't stick around for too long. He just had to approve some things. So when he goes, "Okay, sir, I'm ready to go." I said, "Okay, good." So I walked him to his car. And this is the very last time I saw Prince. I walked into his car, and this strange thing happened. He kind of mentioned something to Theo. He's like, and then Theo turns to me and he goes, "Chris, who is the director? Who was the director of this show?" And I said, "His name is Brian Campbell." And then he pulls a little black book out of his lapel. And then he just writes in the black book and then closes it and puts it back in. And I go, do you want me to connect you? What was it? And he goes, "No, that's all I need." I was like, "Okay." And They got in the car and then went to drive off, and then the car stopped. And then Prince popped out of the window, almost Morris Day style, pops out of the window and he goes, sir? And I said, yeah. And he goes, I'll see you next time. We'll do this all again next Thursday. And then he smirked and went back in the car and drove off. And that was his way of apologizing for putting me through the ringer. You know, I thought that was such a cool moment. Like, he just took the time to say, I'm going to mess with this guy one last time.